And today's October 29th, and sadly today, the stock market has just crashed, and there's tragic events happening all over the world.
Things are really chaotic right now in New York, so we're going to hand it over to our good friend Paul Nguyen. Paul, take it away.
Investors traded some 60 million shares on the New York Stock Exchange in a single day. Billions of dollars were lost, wiping out thousands of investors. We will watch a video happening now in New York.
October 23rd, 1929. The first waves of panicky selling began to drive down the price of blue chip stocks, like Westinghouse and General Electric. The following morning, the fear turned to panic, and brokers began unloading margin accounts at record speed. Stock prices plummeted sickeningly across the board, spurring the rush of sell orders from terrified speculators still more. As anguished shrieks rose up from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, the visitors' gallery was cleared. In less than 2 hours, nearly $10 billion invested in stocks was simply wiped out. Outside on the street, crowds massed 6 deep in front of the stock exchange, while hundreds more stood in shocked silence on the steps of Federal Hall. Newspapers would later try to describe the uncanny murmuring sound that echoed off the stone facades of the financial district that morning. It was a collective moan of horror and grief, and stunned disbelief, rising up from thousands of ruined, frightened men.
In the aftermath of Black Tuesday, America and the rest of the world spiraled downward into the Great Depression, the deepest and longest lasting economic downturn in the history of the Western industrialized world up to that time.
America was poor in the Great Depression, millions without jobs in every profession. How will we eat was a daily question. What are all the lessons of the Great Depression?
People were overwhelmed that when stock market crashed, they began jumping out windows. I got no more money.
And then you say 90%.
I need to die.
And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. When people run in circles, it's a very, very bad way.
Back to you, Zach.
Good job, Paul. Now, even though the stock market crashed in New York, many countries all over the world were affected by this tragedy.
Like in Germany, the stock market crashed and forced American banks to shut down. 90% of German citizens' payments were canceled, as well as 25% unemployed.
Now, in France, hardships and unemployment rates were also high, and they caused rioting in the streets and the rise of the party, the Popular Front in France. In Great Britain during this time, the unemployment rate had more than doubled from 1 million to 2.5 million. That is 20% of the insured workers. And exports had fallen by 50%. That's almost half their exports right there. 50% of people who lived in Glasgow, Scotland were unemployed due to the severe decline in heavy industry. End of our segment.
Yes, it is. Okay, so keep safe, stay warm, and prepare for World War II, guys.
Good morning, everyone. In the last breaking news, Paul, Zoe, and Zach have said to you what happened in the world in the Great Depression. And now, in this news, I will say to you, it has been a while, and many countries have a solution for the Great Depression. Firstly, in 1922, Mussolini swept to power in Italy. He established a corporate state with workers, employer, managers, and professional group work as a corporation will settle the disagreement and determine the economic policy under supervision of the state. Secondly, the U.S. solution to the Great Depression came from the President Franklin Roosevelt. His policy changed the relationship among the government, the individual citizen, and driver's policies. Besides that, The New Deal sought to drive the bump up of the economy, thus to reduce the unemployment in US. By the same time, Adolf Hitler helped Germany to get out of the Great Depression by the Nazi government. This government invests in the heavy projects such as superhighways, canals, bridges, and early after that, they reinforced the German army. This policy drove down the number of German unemployment from 6.2 million in 1932 to 500,000 in 1937. News. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.
The sky, little Einstein, climb aboard, get ready.